Hello YouTube, this is Victor, your flight attendant. Today I have a question for you. Would you ever consider going to work at 6 p.m. and then finish your work early in the morning on the other side of the ocean, let's say in Paris, and go for breakfast and then come back home the next day? If you think that would be something you might be interested in, maybe you would like to be a flight attendant. So I'm starting today a new series where I'm going to talk about the whole process. What is a flight attendant, how to apply, what's the interview process, and what's the training, and then how do you feel after a wee while and how you can evolve in an airline. So if you consider being a flight attendant, or if you know someone that might be interested, maybe it's a good idea to share this video. So welcome to my channel. So if I ask you what's the flight attendant doing, the first thing people will say, oh, you serve something to drink and food on board. Yes, it's true, I can't deny that, we actually do this. But the main thing we're doing is actually about security. We're here to save your ass and our ass in case something goes wrong. We're here to make sure everything is actually done in a safely manner on board the plane. The way we work and also the way passengers are. But we have a lot of other jobs on the plane. So we are also a barman, a chef, a nurse, sometimes a therapist, sometimes we look after a daycare on board, a cleaner, a security guard, a trip advisor, a first responder, a translator, and many other jobs. So if you have one of those qualities, if you're actually an expert in one of those skills, well, you already have a very good way to enter the flight attendant world, because you come with experience, and that's what usually airlines are looking for. So maybe it's actually time for you to apply. Before you apply, you need to know every airline's got their own rules, the way they work, the way they pay people, the way they do the schedule. So the best way to know exactly what's going to happen to you is to contact someone who's already flying for the airline you're interested in. You may have some common friends with a flight attendant, and they might know someone from another airline, or I'm sure there's some forums online. If you can research, you'll find a lot of information. Now you need to know the application is a very long process. The airlines have to do a lot of background check. You need to be allowed to work in pretty much every country where the airline will be flying. So you can't have any criminal record anywhere, because otherwise you'll be banned. Also another thing, it's not a criminal record, but if you have any tattoo that's visible, many airlines will not accept your application. At the point they'll just tell you sorry, but it doesn't fit well as a grooming guide. So small tattoos that are hidden under the uniform, that's fine, but you have something on your front arm, just forget it, on your face or something visible. Mine is behind my shoulder, I never see it, no one ever sees it, so that's perfect. So on your resume you need to explain a little bit why you be very high skilled as a flight attendant. Of course, customer service is something very important, but if you have any background coming, we have, on my intake, we had an ex-policeman, we had 2 nurses, also we had some people who never been flying in their life, just been a passenger a few times on a flight that lasts only 2 hours, and we're going to send them on a 10-hour flight. So people coming from all walks of life, but you need to express how you can be an asset to the airline. Keep in mind the first thing that will read your resume will usually be a robot. When you apply online, those robots will be scanning all the resumes and look for specific keywords. So be very strategic in which word you are using in your resume, so your resume will be actually put aside and flagged as a potential candidate. Sometimes the airlines are not recruiting, usually they do in waves, depending when they get new aircrafts on board, but you can always usually put your name in the data bank. So on the career website of the airline, you can create your whole profile and then just indicate which kind of jobs you'll be looking at, and whenever there's positions, you're already in a system, just have to update your resume and you'll be notified by email. So it's quite a good system to be already there. My last tip for today is do not change anything in your life at all until you actually got the job and you know you have it. Keep in mind the airline might want you and tell you, yeah, you got a job, and then your background check failed because of you've been stealing a tire when you were 15 years old and you have something in your record, and then they can't hire you. So please refrain from doing any changes in your life until you have a full confirmation that you got the job and you got your airline ID, and then you'll be able to actually resign and maybe think of changing house and everything. So next week I'll talk about the interview process because they vary a lot from airline to another, but I'll tell you how it worked from my case, so that might inspire you and give you some ideas and tips. And then if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If you're already an existing flight attendant and you would like to answer or share some tips, you're welcome to use the comment box as a forum. I'm going to share another video, so that's actually a training from an airline, so feel free to have a look at it. It gives you an idea about how the whole training process will be, and then I'll see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be updated to the next video. Bye!